What's going on, everybody? I'm Walt, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 8 great ways to redeem your ultimate reward points. But first, if you're new to this channel is all about credit cards, credit card rewards, and showing you how you can use your points and miles to travel for less. So if something that interests you, consider subscribing and turn the bell notification on as well. Also, consider giving the video a thumbs up. It really does help the channel out. Now, while I think the value of chase points is eroding, there are still some great options for these points. So you know what? Let's get into it. Starting off with Hyatt. Let's just start by saying this is Chase's best transfer partner and can offer some amazing value. Yes, they're adopting peak and off-peak awards, which could be good or bad for you depending on your travel style. But Hyatt's award chart is the best hotel award chart out there on the market. And Chase has been expanding their small footprint slowly with their small luxury hotel collection and other boutique hotels as well. They also have their all-inclusive properties, which are a steal for 25,000 points per night. And while giving you an answer of just Hyatt is pretty broad, Hyatt overall as a program just offers great value. You know, I personally prefer Hyatt Places or Hyatt Houses and feel they're often overlooked for more luxurious properties. But if luxury travel is your thing, it's hard to argue with the oversized value that you can receive at some of the Perk Hyatts. And the second way to get great value from your ultimate reward points is by utilizing the United Excursionist perk. See, extending the life of your miles is important if you want to use fewer miles for your travel, or maybe you just want to travel more often. And the United Excursionist perk is a great way to add a free one-way into your current trip or add it into another trip by nesting itineraries. And this benefit could save you a lot of money and miles depending on where you're flying and even the time of year you're flying as well. And the Excursionist perk needs to be used within the same region, and you can't use your free segment in the US if your flight originates in the US. But if you happen to have a lot of travel, you can piece this perk together with other miles and get a lot of value from this benefit. The third way to get great value from your ultimate reward points is by using British Airways for short-haul flights. British Airways Avios have a lot of value for the American airline flyer. British Airways charges based on segment and on distance, so non-stop flights is going to be key to getting the best value for your ultimate reward points here. And short-haul flights on American Airlines can offer some great value, because while American Airlines could charge you 12,500 miles one way for a flight, or whatever they charge now because they've gone dynamic, Avios are going to be 7,500 miles for that same exact flight here in the US. And you can book these in a one-way or even round trip. But Avios can be a great use for your ultimate reward points here. And the fourth way to get great value from your points is by using Virgin Atlantic for Delta flights. While Delta awards might be dynamic in pricing and cost hundreds of thousands of points, Virgin Atlantic has a standard award chart for flights operated by Delta. And there are some great ways to receive oversized value for your points here, most notably to use Virgin Atlantic miles flying Delta One to either Europe or to Japan. And you can use 50,000 Virgin Atlantic miles to fly Delta One to Europe or 60,000 Virgin Atlantic miles to fly Delta One to Asia. There are many other options as well, such as 40,000 miles one way to South Africa or even 12,500 miles cross-country here in the US. And remember, Virgin Atlantic will add the price of segments together, so booking non-stop flights is going to be the best way to go here. So you might need to do some repositioning to get extra value, but it's definitely worth the work because this point savings can be huge here. And the fifth way to get great value from your points is using Virgin Atlantic miles to fly ANA's first class or business class cabin. And if you haven't noticed already, I am big on Virgin Atlantic miles and they can offer some great value for you. But if you're someone looking for a little bit more luxury for those long haul flights, then using Virgin Atlantic miles to fly ANA in either first class or business class is a great use of your points. And if you're looking to fly business class, it would only be 90,000 Virgin Atlantic miles round trip from the West Coast or 95,000 points from the East Coast. In first class would only be 110,000 miles round trip from the West Coast or 120,000 miles round trip from the East Coast. And ANA is one of the top airlines in the world, and they recently just remodeled their cabins, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And if you're wanting to use your points this way and looking for award space, you're not going to find this award space on Virgin Atlantic's website. You're going to need to either search United's website or ANA's website to find ANA's award space. Then you're going to need to call Virgin Atlantic and book those flights. And the next way to get great value from your points is using Singapore KrisFlyer miles to fly to Hawaii. And Hawaii is a dream destination for many people, and getting to Hawaii with your miles is super easy. You can fly to Hawaii using Singapore KrisFlyer miles for only 17,500 miles one way, or just 35,000 miles round trip plus $11.20. And this is a fantastic value for your miles and one of the better options to fly to Hawaii, especially from the East Coast. And now that United is dynamic in their pricing, United can be more or less than Singapore KrisFlyer miles when looking to go to Hawaii, but when I searched for the lowest cost, I was seeing flights only as low as 22,500 miles each way. So Singapore KrisFlyer miles will save you 10,000 miles per person per round trip ticket. And to search for reward space, you can search right on United's website, but you want to make sure you're looking for the Saver Space designation. Or you can search Aeroplan and see the United flights available there. Write down that information and call Singapore Airlines to book that flight. The next way to get great value from your Ultimate Reward points is using Flying Blue to fly Delta. And Flying Blue miles are just so easy to earn, and using them to fly Delta could be super helpful if you only happen to have Ultimate Reward points. And while Delta is dynamic in their pricing, so is Flying Blue. But the cost on Flying Blue could be less than that of using Delta Sky Miles, so it's always worth checking. And you can actually book Delta flights directly on Flying Blue's website, but you do want to keep in mind Flying Blue will pass on fuel surcharges to their customers. And lastly, we're going to talk about the travel portal. And the travel portal can be a great option if you happen to have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. With its 1.5 cent per point redemption value, you can take advantage of cheap fares and possibly redeem fewer points than transferring your points out to one of Chase's partners. And as more programs move dynamic in pricing, not only can this cost you fewer miles, but you'll also earn redeemable miles and earn status if you're into that as well. Plus, with this option, your taxes and fees can be paid with points. So using the travel portal could actually cost you less money out of pocket as well. And these were 8 different ways to get great value from your Ultimate Reward points, but there are plenty of other ways to get solid value from these points as well. And Ultimate Reward points can offer some really good value. Maybe not as amazing as American Express transfer partners, but you can still travel for less with Ultimate Reward points. And the more flexible you are, the better success you're going to have when it comes to award bookings. So tell me, what are your favorite ways to redeem your Ultimate Reward points? Hey, thanks for tuning in this video. If you want to help support the channel, a simple way would be using links on the website or in the description below. And until next time, safe travels and take care.